Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy. Welcome to Facebook Live, Hardcore Course in Miracles. And we're going to talk about how do you actually apply the truth in your everyday life? How do you use truth ideas and take them into your regular life? So we're going to talk about how do you apply the truth. And we're going to use the Course in Miracles. And I want to thank you for tuning in. And we're going to get down deep. And we start out every week with John Christmas singing the incredible song, We Are One. You can get his music at johnchristmas.com. So we're going to find out how in the heck do you apply this in your everyday life? How do you use these ideas from A Course in Miracles or any truth teaching? Here we go.
There's a call for a God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything is turning upside down. But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's waiting for us to choose him as ourselves. When you choose him, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am. You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one.
Hey, mighty companions. This is Earl Raj Purdy. I want to welcome you to Facebook Live, Hardcore Course and Miracles. We're going to be in the workbook on page 145 in the workbook. We're going to start out with the introduction to the review that actually gives very specific instructions about how you apply the ideas in your everyday life. How do you make the Course in Miracles practical in your everyday life? We're going to talk about that.
You and me, we're not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can
Brother John Christmas at johnchristmas.com. That's where you get that music, mighty companions. Woo! When I get ready to be with you all, I can just feel this energy, this rush, this excitement that comes through my very soul. I love and appreciate you. So we're going to be on page 145 in the Course in Miracles workbook in the Foundation for Inner Peace version. It's going to be a powerful, powerful class where you will learn more specifically about how to apply the Course in Miracles ideas in your daily life. This is not abstract. This is going to be, how do I take these truth ideas? How do I make these truth ideas real to me? How do I actually apply the Course in Miracles ideas? How do I change my mind with these new ideas? So this is going to be a very important section for us to, and it's really the review to introduction on page 145. I appreciate each and every one of you. I love my mighty companion. Now, I've been doing A Course in Miracles and teaching it for 40 years, actually. And I'm going into my 41st year. And A Course in Miracles, if you want to find it in the Kindle, just do a search on the Review to Introduction. That would be a good place. Or you could just do a search on Lesson 81, because this is the introduction to the review, and Lesson 81 is review. So do a search in the Kindle on Lesson 81 and then go back a page to the introduction in the review. So I really want you to understand that we can talk about the Course in Miracles, and we can talk about the theory of it, and we can debate it, and we can analyze it. But the purpose of the Thursday class is for those who are studying it and really want to know more about how to make it practical. Now, in my 40 years of teaching and learning the Course, there are certain things that I remember that the Course in Miracles says that really makes a big difference. First of all, A Course in Miracles teaches that the purpose of a relationship is to save you time. The purpose of a relationship is to help you reach your goal faster, to help you reach sanity and truth and love faster. The purpose of a relationship is to allow you to experience real love faster. So I've done 40 years for you. So don't take anything that I'm saying to mean that it will take you 40 years to get to where I am in the Course in Miracles. I've already done that for you. So what I'm going to do is give you some tips about the best way to apply it in your day-to-day experience. The first thing I want to tell you is that in the workbook, the Course in Miracles is actually giving you the instructions about how to actually study the Course in Miracles and how to apply the ideas in the Course in Miracles. And so there are a lot of powerful tips in the Review to Introduction that can make your whole journey through the Course in Miracles a lot easier. The first thing to remember is that you need not believe the ideas, that you need not accept the ideas in A Course in Miracles, that you need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you're going to actively resist. So just go ahead and just give yourself permission to know that you're going to resist some of the ideas in A Course in Miracles, that you're going to resist some truth ideas. The next thing to keep in mind, if you really want to have your journey through the Course in Miracles be more loving and joyful, is to realize that some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. If you are hearing something that's brand new, then that means you're hearing something that's going to be very different from what you already believe. And if I tell you something very different from what you already believe, then it's going to be what you call hard to believe, because it's very different from what you believe. I am the truth repetition teacher. I am the truth remembering teacher. My focus is to help you remember what the Course in Miracles is saying, and my focus is to help you apply the ideas. I do not analyze A Course in Miracles, because the Course in Miracles says don't analyze A Course in Miracles. So just accept that some of the ideas are you're going to find them hard to believe. Accept that some of the ideas may startle you. Accept that you're not being asked to judge and analyze the ideas at all. You can do it if you want to, if it makes you feel good, because that's what you learned to do in the past, is to analyze everything. You are perfectly free to do that, but I promise you, it will not help you understand anything really about the Course in Miracles. It actually destroyed the meaning of most of it. Also, the Course in Miracles says it's the use of the ideas. It's the use of the ideas. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. It's the use of the ideas that will give the ideas meaning and show you that the ideas are true. It is the use of the ideas, using the ideas, using the ideas. The Course in Miracles says in the beginning of the workbook that their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. I say their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. So I want you to recognize this. Now, like I said, the Thursday night gathering and presentation is very much for people who are ready to apply these principles and learn how to apply the principles of A Course in Miracles. And the Course in Miracles says a miracle is a correct perception, right-mindedness. So if you want to go from fear-mindedness, separation, anger, guilt, and grievance-mindedness, to right-mindedness, which is a joyful mind, a happy mind, a peaceful mind, then this Thursday gathering is very much for sincere, serious, by serious I mean sincere people who are ready to apply this. So in the second paragraph, right at the introduction on page 145, there are a couple of powerful things in that you want to use to show you how to apply the ideas in the Course in Miracles. One thing that I've noticed in doing the Course in Miracles for so long and working with Course in Miracles students is anybody that's on the path of any real truth, is that there's a tendency to, get it intellectually, but still don't actually apply it to the situations that come up in your daily life. So the Course in Miracles, in describing how to apply these workbook lessons, is really telling you how to approach the whole book and all the ideas in the Course in Miracles or in truth. So it says the longer practice periods will follow this general form. Take about 15 minutes for each practice period and begin by thinking about the ideas for the day. So you could say that you should begin your day by thinking about the ideas in the Course in Miracles, thinking about the workbook ideas, or really thinking about the ideas of truth that's in the Course in Miracles. And then it says, think about the comments. So each workbook lesson or each section in the course has many ideas, and it says, devote some 3 or 4 minutes to reading them over slowly. So the Course in Miracles is saying you need to read these ideas slowly. If you really want to change your mind and get to the peace of mind that A Course in Miracles is promising, it says reading them over how? Slowly. That's why I have slowed down a lot in going through the ideas. So several times. So it says read these ideas slowly. Read the ideas in the workbook. Read the review slowly, several times. So when you are going through new ideas, when you're getting ready to learn new ideas and you want to put new ideas in your mind, the first thing you want to do is you want to read over it slowly, several times if you wish. And then the once you read something in the Course in Miracles, or the once you read a workbook lesson, or in any truth book, because we can apply this to anything, and you're reading any truth book, first you read over it slowly, and then you close your eyes and listen. So how many of you read something and then spend a lot of time trying to analyze what you just read, rather than just, I read a little bit of this, so now I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to listen. Like, for instance, if the Course in Miracles says that everyone around you is either expressing love or a call for love, then you would read that several times. Everything is love or a call for love. Everything is love or a call for love. The only thing that I'm seeing is love or a call for love. And then it says, don't analyze that. Close your eyes and listen. I've just read something in A Course in Miracles or any truth book, and I'm going to now close my eyes if possible, if I'm in a place where I can do that. He says, close your eyes and listen. When you get a new idea that you're reading, read it slowly several times, and then close your eyes and listen. Close your eyes and listen. Repeat the first phase of this exercise period. So what does that mean? That means if there's a new truth idea or an exercise in this workbook or any truth idea, I want you to understand I'm doing this in a way that you can apply this to any new idea that you're studying, that you're trying to learn to believe and learn to accept. Okay, so this applies to any new ideas that you are trying to retrain your mind to accept. If it's a book you're reading or something you're studying, or A Course in Miracles, for instance, he says read it slowly. Read it slowly several times. And then the Course in Miracles says, then close your eyes and listen. And then every time you feel your mind wandering, if you find your mind wandering, what do? Well, if you find your mind wandering, go back and just say to yourself the original premise. For instance, the workbook exercise 81 says, I am the light of the world. That was lesson 61 in the Course in Miracles, but it's lesson 81 in the review. So let's use that as an example. I am the light of the world. The Course in Miracles says, you are the light of the world. Who are you? You are the light of the world. So let's take that from being something very abstract. Light means truth. Light means love. So if I am the light of the world, I am the truth of the world. That means I am in the world to practice the truth. I am in the world to see things I'm in the world to see things through the eyes of love. I'm in the world to be love. So A Course in Miracles definition of light is truth. Another definition from the Course in Miracles of light is love. So I am the light of the world. I am the truth of the world. So the Course in Miracles says, okay, you say that to yourself several times. I am the light of the world. I am the truth of the world. I am the light of the world. Then you close your eyes, and then you just listen. So when you're sitting up trying to listen, I am the light of the world, you close your eyes, you're listening, and let's say your mind starts to wander. What do you do if your mind starts to wander? You say you want to focus in on the idea, and then you notice that you are finding that your mind is beginning to wander. Then just go back and say the original idea. I am the light of the world. My mind is wandering. Let me say it again. I am the light of the world. Soon as your mind starts to wander and you catch your mind wandering, just go back and say the original idea that you are trying to use and apply. So then you try to spend the major part of the time listening quietly but attentively. So when you find your mind wandering, tell yourself the truth statement again. I am the light of the world, for example, and then spend a major part of your time listening quietly. Listen attentively. listen quietly, listen attentively. That's what you would do with any idea in A Course in Miracles. You would read it slowly, and then you would close your eyes and you would just listen to see what you could possibly hear from within. Then if your mind starts to wonder, what do? You go back and say the original idea, for instance. In this case, the idea is, I am the light of the world. Then you listen quietly again. You listen attentively again. There is a message waiting for you. There is a message waiting for you. Tell yourself this. There is a message waiting for me. There is a message waiting for me. The Holy Spirit, your higher self, the higher power, has a message waiting for you. There is a message waiting for you. Did I say there is a message waiting for you? There is a message waiting for you. So what do you do if there's a message waiting for you? Even if you feel like you haven't heard the inner message yet, what do? You should be confident that you will receive the message. Sooner or later, you will receive the message. There's a message waiting for you from your higher self, the Holy Spirit. And remember, that message belongs to you. So tell yourself two things. There's a message waiting for me, and I'm confident that I'm going to receive that message. So let me make this practical. There's a truth that you are studying. There's an idea that you want to try to apply to your everyday life. So the first thing you do when you're reading the truth of the Course in Miracles or any truth book, you read it slowly. Did I say you read it slowly? You read it slowly. And you may read it several times. But what do you do instead of analyzing what you've read? Instead of analyzing the material, what you do is close your eyes, and listen. And when you close your eyes, and you might find that your mind starts to wander. When you find that your mind starts to wander and you're thinking about what you're going to have for breakfast tomorrow, what do? You say the original idea again. Like, for instance, I would say, I am the light of the world. My mind was wandering, so I'm going to go back and tell myself the truth again. I am the light of the world. Then you're going to listen quietly. Then you're going to listen attentively. What are you going to do? You're going to listen quietly. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident that you're going to receive it. Remember, there's a message from God. That message belongs to you. So remember that there's a message that Spirit wants to give you. And remember that there's a message that Spirit wants to give you that belongs to you. And that you want that message. So when you're doing, for instance, a Course in Miracles workbook lesson, or if any of the ideas, you want to be quiet, close your eyes, and listen, and see what comes up. So what do you do next? Do not allow your intent to waver. So what is it that makes your intent waver? I know you want the truth, and you tell yourself you intend to use the truth, and you tell yourself you want to apply the Course in Miracles principles and ideas, and then you find yourself coming up short. Well, what keeps you from actually applying the truth that's going to give you the miracles that you want? Because you do want a miracle. And the Course in Miracles describes a miracle as a state of completion and abundance. One of the definitions of A Course in Miracles, a miracle is a state of completion and abundance. Another definition of a miracle is a correct perception or a right perception. Another definition of a miracle is that it's an expression of love. A miracle is an expression of love. These are all Course in Miracles definitions of a miracle. Do you know that the Course in Miracles says that you are a miracle? You are a miracle and expression of love. You are a miracle and expression of love. I am a miracle. I'm an expression of love. And because you are a miracle, that's one of the reasons that you are the light of the world. So there's a message that belongs to you, and tell yourself, I want my message. I want my message. I want my message. I want my message. I want the message that belongs to me. Tell yourself, I want the message from God that belongs to me. I want the message from God that belongs to me. I want the message from love that belongs to me. I want the message from love that belongs to me. I want the message from the universe that belongs to me. Tell yourself that right now. I want the message that belongs to me. All right, these are very specific instructions about how you apply these ideas. Now, don't allow your intent to waver. I know you want the truth. Don't allow your intent to waver. So what causes your intent to waver? What keeps you from really sticking to this the way that you should? Distracting thoughts. Do you know that the Course in Miracles says what keeps you from sticking to your guns and really applying the truth the way you say you want to apply the truth is that you have distracting thoughts. So, what do you do when you have distracting thoughts? I'm going to tell you what you do when you have distracting thoughts. You know you want to focus on the truth. You know you want to focus on the love. You know you want to focus on the ideas that the truth is teaching you. You know you want to really utilize the ideas that A Course in Miracles is giving you. You have the best of intentions, and then your intentions waver because of distracting thoughts. Thoughts of anger, thoughts of fear, thoughts of lack, thoughts of concern, thoughts of worry, thoughts about all the day-to-day things that you think you have to take care of. Thoughts of your guilt. Thoughts that you are not enough, thoughts of insecurity, thoughts of lack. All these are what the Course in Miracles calls distracting thoughts. So what do you do with your distracting thoughts? Well, and another thing I want you to do, I want you to focus on the idea, I want you to focus on why you can do what this is saying, rather than focusing on why you can't do what this is saying, or why you get distracted. What I'm going to tell you now is don't focus on why you get distracted, or you can't practice this, or you can't do it. Focus on what you should do if you are distracted. In other words, focus on the solution, not on the problem. You just recognize the problem long enough to recognize you need an immediate answer. You don't dwell on the problem. You just recognize there's a problem. And so then you immediately shift to, okay, what's the solution to the problem? So if you have distracting thoughts, then the Course in Miracles says right here, realize that whatever form distracting thoughts may take, no matter what the form your distracting thoughts may take, remember and realize that distracting thoughts have no meaning and distracting thoughts have no power. So the reason why we get sidetracked by distracting thoughts is because you think distracting thoughts have power, and you can think distracting thoughts have meaning. So what the Course in Miracles is saying is, realize that your ego thoughts have no real meaning. Your ego thoughts have no real power. Your distracting thoughts have no real power. Your anger thoughts, guilt thoughts, worry thoughts, thoughts of concern, thoughts of sickness, lack, anger. The Course in Miracles says those thoughts really have no meaning, and those thoughts have no power. So you want to remind, so that way you won't give so much power to your distracting thoughts. Stop giving power to your distracting thoughts. Distracting thoughts have no meaning and no power. Distracting thoughts have no meaning and no power. My anger thoughts have no power. My ego thoughts have no power. My lack thoughts have no power. My fear thoughts have no power. My separation thoughts have no power. My my distracting thoughts have no meaning and no power. So what do you need to do? You need to replace your ego thoughts. You need to replace your distracting thoughts. Whatever the distracting thoughts that keep you from focusing on the idea that you want to accept, whatever distracting thoughts come up, you got to replace those distracting thoughts. Okay, what do you do? What do you do with your distracting thoughts? It says right here on the page, replace them with your determination. Replace distracting thoughts with your determination. I know I have these distracting thoughts that are trying to keep me from practicing the thoughts of truth that I know I want to believe. Like my thought that I'm supposed to be focusing on right now is, I am the light of the world. But I try to remember that I am the light of the world, but then all of these distracting thoughts come up in my mind. What do I do with them? How do I handle the distracting thoughts? Well, the first thing you do is to realize that your distracting thoughts don't have any meaning and that your distracting thoughts don't have any power. What do you do with your distracting thoughts? Well, what do you do? Well, what you do with your distracting thoughts is to replace them. If I'm thinking thoughts of anger, guilt, and grievances, then I need to replace them. I have to replace my ego thoughts, my distractions, with my determination to succeed. Okay, so I have thoughts of anger, thoughts of guilt. I'm trying to think these loving thoughts. I'm trying to practice the truth. But if my mind is wandering, so if my mind wanders, I go back to the original idea, I am the light of the world. Then I spend my time trying to take a moment to listen, to see what kind of guidance that I get from within. So if you find your intent wavering, you said you were really going to focus on the truth, but right now you're right back to thinking all those same old crazy thoughts that you usually think, then you need to realize that your ego thoughts have no power. Your fear thoughts have no real power. Your guilt thoughts have no real power. Your separation and thoughts of separation have no real power and no real meaning. So you need to replace your distracting thoughts. What do you replace your distracting thoughts with? You replace your distracting thoughts with your determination to succeed. You have to replace your distracting thoughts with your determination to succeed. I am determined to succeed. I am determined to succeed. You are determined to succeed. Tell yourself, I am determined to succeed. I am determined to succeed. I am going to replace all of my distracting thoughts with my determination to succeed, because there is a message. There is a message waiting for me. If I can focus on the truth and practice the truth, there's a message waiting for me. There's a message that belongs to you. And you really want that message. So don't allow your goal to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Remember that whenever you have distracting thoughts, they have no meaning and they have no power. What do? You replace your distracting thoughts and feelings with your determination to succeed. Determination to succeed. You have to replace your ego thoughts with the determination to succeed. Now, in the next sentence, it says this: do not forget. Remember how I was telling you that the Course in Miracles constantly says, do not forget. Remember this. Do not forget. Remember. A Course in Miracles never says, analyze this, analyze that, analyze them, analyze this, analyze that, analyze them. It never, ever, ever gives the instruction to analyze the ideas of the material. What the Course in Miracles does do is constantly says, remember these ideas and don't forget these ideas. So what is it that is telling you not to forget? Don't forget that you have the powerful mind, the powerful will of God is in you. The powerful will of love and truth is within you. A Course in Miracles defines will as mind. So when it says, don't forget that your will has power, it's the same as saying, don't forget that your mind has power. Your will has power. Your mind has power. What does your mind have power over? What does your mind have power over? You're welcome, Randy. What does the mind have power over? What does your will have power over? Well, your will has power over all fantasies. Your will has power over all your dreams. Your will is more powerful than all of your fantasies. Your will is more powerful than all of your dreams. So what do? Trust your will to see you through. I'm going to trust that my will see me through. I'm going to trust that even though I have distracting thoughts and I don't always think as lovingly as I should, and I don't always remember these ideas like I should, I'm going to remember that my will has power, and my will has power over all my fantasies and fears. My will has power over all my dreams. So you're going to trust that your will see you through. Trust that your will see you through. And trust that your will carry you beyond all of your fantasies and fears and dreams and distractions. So you have to trust that your will, your desire, your intent to go to the truth and to practice the truth and to practice love, that's going to see you through. Trust it. Trust your will to see you through. Trust your will to see you through. So there's a workbook lesson that says, there is no will but the will of God. There is no will but the will of God. There is no will but the will of God. There is no will but the will of God. So you have to trust your will to see you through. Trust your will to carry you beyond all your fears and guilts and concerns. Trust that your will see you through. Your will see you through. So what are we hearing? We're hearing that the first thing that you should do with truth ideas, with new ideas, when you're reading and studying, is to read it slowly, several times, and close your eyes and listen. Read it several times and close your eyes and listen. If you find your mind wandering, go back and tell yourself, or go back and read that original idea, and then listen, be quiet, don't analyze, listen attentively. Why should you listen attentively? Because there's a message waiting for you. Be confident you will receive the message from the higher power that's waiting for you. Remember, there it is again. Remember that there's a message that belongs to you. There's a message that belongs to you, and that you want it. You want it. You want it. Don't allow your intent to waver. Don't allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. Don't allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts, anger thoughts, ego thoughts, thoughts of worry, concern, grievances. Realize that whatever form your distracting thoughts may take, your distracting thoughts have no power. Distracting thoughts have no meaning. Distracting thoughts have no power. Distracting thoughts have no meaning and have no power. Replace your distracting thoughts when they come up. What do you replace your distracting thoughts with when your distracting thoughts come up? You replace your distracting thoughts with your determination. With your determination to succeed. I have a determination to succeed at A Course in Miracles. I have a determination to succeed at A Course in Miracles. I have a determination to succeed at knowing love and having love and being love. I am determined to succeed at my goal. I'm determined to succeed at my goal. I'm determined to succeed. Replace your distracting thoughts with the determination to succeed. And don't forget, your will has power over your ego. Your will has more power than your ego. Your will has more power than your fantasies. Your will has more power than your dreams. So just trust that your real self, your will see you through and carry you beyond every distraction that you have. So how should you look at the periods that you are trying to apply the Course in Miracles ideas, the truth ideas? Well, it says, regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. You listening to this and watching this, you being a part of this course, you practicing and doing your workbook lesson and reading the course and trying to apply the ideas, reading the truth, trying to apply the ideas, you are to regard these practice periods as dedications to the way, the truth, and the life. Now, what do? You refuse to be sidetracked. What do? Refuse to be sidetracked into detours. Refuse to be sidetracked. Refuse to be sidetracked into detours, illusions, and thoughts of death. Right now, we are hearing all about death every day right now, more and more in the news and everywhere else, you're hearing about death. That's a detour. That's being sidetracked. If you focus in on thoughts of death, if you focus in on fears and illusions, if you focus in on any of those things, you are taking a detour. You are being sidetracked from your purpose. You are dedicated. You are dedicated. You are dedicated to salvation. That means you are dedicated to right-mindedness. You are dedicated to peace. You are dedicated to love. When you say you are dedicated to salvation, it means you're dedicated to forgiveness, right-mindedness, and love. When you say you are dedicated to salvation, it means you are dedicated to peace. You are dedicated to joy. So don't be sidetracked. Don't be sidetracked into detours. Don't be sidetracked into false ideas of fear and separation. Don't be sidetracked by thoughts of death and dying. Don't be sidetracked because you are dedicated. You are dedicated to salvation, right-mindedness, and joy. So what should you do each day? What should you do each day? Be determined, be determined, be determined, be determined each day not to leave your function unfulfilled. Your function is to be the truth in this world. Your function is to be love in this world. Your function is to be joy and happiness in this world. You are here to be love in this world. Your function is to remember you are the light of the world. That is your function. To be the light of the world, to be the truth in the world, to think the truth in the world, to not think like the world, to not think like the world. It is your function not to think like the world in the world. Did you hear, Earl? It is your function not to think like the world in the world. That is your function. So don't leave your function unfulfilled. I say don't leave your function unfulfilled. Reaffirm your determination. Reaffirm your determination. Say the original idea again. I am the light of the world. And then use some more specific forms of that idea. And we're going to now use some more specific forms. But don't forget, it's not the particular words that you use that matter. It's not the words that you use, it's the intention behind the words. It's what you're telling yourself behind the words that matter. And that was why I was saying to you that you want to make sure that you look at yourself as the light of the world means to see yourself as the truth and the love in the world and of the world. So let's do lesson 81. So what you do is you go, I am the light of the world. Okay, I am the love of the world. I am the love of the world. I am the truth of the world. You are the love of the world. You are the truth of the world. You are the love of the world. So what happens if you are saying that to yourself and you start to feel distracted? What do if you start to feel distracted? Then just say all these thoughts of distraction, they don't have any meaning. All these other thoughts that are coming in, these thoughts of distraction don't have any power. And I'm going to replace these distracting thoughts. I'm going to replace these distracting thoughts with my determination to succeed at doing this. And so I'm going to say to myself, when my mind gets distracted, as quick as I can, I'm going to come back and I'm going to tell myself again, I am the light of the world. I am the truth of the world. So what do you tell yourself? How holy am I? The Course in Miracles defines holy as innocent. Another definition of holy is love. And another definition of holy is beautiful and guiltless. So when you say holy, how holy am I? How holy am I is how innocent am I. Holy means innocent. So how innocent am I? How holy am I? That means how loving am I? Who have been given the function. So what is your function? You have the function of lighting up the world. If you accept your function, which is to light up the world, that means your function is to think the thoughts of truth and love in the world. The promise from A Course in Miracles is this. Listen to what I'm saying. A promise from the Course in Miracles is this. If you fulfill your function as being a person that recognizes innocence and guiltlessness and that you are spirit and you want to be a loving truth being in the world, the Course in Miracles says you will be given what you need to stay. You will be given the money you need to stay. You will be given everything at a material level that you need to stay. If you would be willing to accept your function. And what is your function? Your function is to light up the world. Your function is to be thinking these ideas in the world. So what do you say to yourself? You say, let me be still before my holiness. Let me be still before my innocence. Let me be still before my power. A Course in Miracles defines holy as power. That holy is another word for power. So you would say, let me be still before my holiness. Let me be still before my innocence. Let me be still before my guiltlessness. Let me be still before my beauty. Let me be still before my sinlessness. So in the calm light of your holiness, you need to be quiet before your innocence. You need to be still before your innocence. In the quiet light of your innocence, in the quiet light of your power, in the quiet light of your power, let all my conflicts disappear. So this is what you do. If you have a conflict, you tell yourself, I'm the light of the world. If your mind starts to wonder, you say it again, I am the light of the world. And then you try to be quiet so that you can receive the message from Spirit, because there's a message for you. There's a message that belongs to you. Be determined that you're going to succeed. Be determined that you are not going to allow yourself to be distracted by ego thoughts and fear thoughts. And when any of those thoughts come up, you tell yourself, these thoughts have no power. These thoughts have no meaning. And then the Course in Miracles says, you say to yourself, in its calm light, let all my conflicts disappear. In the peace of my holiness, in the peace of my holiness, in the peace of my innocence, in the peace of my innocence, let me remember who I am. In the peace of my holiness, let me remember who I am. This is the practical application of the ideas. This is what the Course in Miracles is asking you to do to receive your perception and to have an experience of the miracle. Some specific forms for applying this idea, you are the light of the world, when special difficulties seem to come up. When special difficulties seem to come up, when difficulties seem to come up, when difficulties seem to come up, you might say to yourself, as a suggestion, when any kind of difficulties or fears come up, say to yourself, let me not obscure the light of the world in me. Let me not obscure the light of the world in me. When the difficulty comes up and you're tempted to get distracted and upset, you tell yourself, let me not obscure the light of the world in me. When some type of a difficulty comes up, something that's tempting you to believe that the truth isn't true and you're getting ready to get upset, say to yourself, let the light of the world shine through this appearance. There's this appearance that's coming up. There's this thing that's coming up, and I'm tempted to make myself feel upset. I'm tempted to give my peace away right now. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance. It looks like I'm having this argument, this separation, this disagreement. Let the light of the world shine through this appearance. It looks like I don't have enough money. It looks like I can't pay my bills. Whatever it is that you're telling yourself that is a distraction, that seems to be a special difficulty, you say, let the light of the world shine through this appearance. And don't say this doesn't work if you haven't done it with any consistency or haven't done it at all. And this is what you would do with any difficulty that comes up. The Course in Miracles calls difficulties and upsets shadows. When you're upset about something, whatever that is, do you know that the Course in Miracles calls a difficulty a shadow, a lack, a shadow, a fear, a shadow, a sense of anger, a shadow? Whatever it is that you think is bothering you right now, call it a shadow. If you're having a problem in a relationship, say, hey, there's some shadows in my relationship right now. If you're having challenges in your work, on your job, or in your health, say, this shadow will vanish before the light. This shadow will vanish before the light. This shadow will vanish before the light. This problem, this difficulty will vanish before the light. Don't forget that light is truth. Light is God. Light is love. So you would say, this shadow will vanish before the truth. This shadow will vanish before the truth. This problem will vanish before the truth. So this has been an example of how you would take the ideas in A Course in Miracles, or in any truth book, or when you're reading A Course in Miracles, and you want to let these ideas sink in so that the use of these ideas will show you that the ideas are true. You have just heard exactly how to apply these ideas. And I'm going to do a quick recap in just a minute. I do my classes on a donation basis as a full-time teacher. If you'd like to make a donation, I would totally appreciate that. Go to my website, Earl Purdy, PURDY.com, earlpurdy.com. If you want to use Venmo or any of those type apps, my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm available for one-on-one personal sessions called clarity sessions. And if you're open to it, I use all my 40 years of experience in working with people with the Course in Miracles, as well as my over 40 years as a professional soul purpose astrologer and numerologist. It's called a clarity session. Go to my website, look under the clarity session tab, and you can self-book an appointment, and it will give you more details about the sessions. Also, sign up for my contact list. Follow this page, the Earl Purdy page, on Facebook also. I post all my classes also on YouTube, and I got over 1,000 classes on YouTube, hundreds of classes on Facebook, and on my website there are audios and videos that you can download free of charge. And I also appreciate donations. Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, I do another Facebook Live, A Course in Miracles class on the Earl Purdy page, P-A-G-E, the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, Sundays at 1 o'clock Mountain Time. And then Thursdays, we do our Hardcore Course in Miracles at 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page. All right, so let's do a quick review. So this is how you apply the truth. When you're reading, studying, or you're trying to apply any of the truth ideas, when you're reading, read slowly. When you're reading, read slowly. Instead of analyzing what you've just read, close your eyes, be quiet, and just listen and see what comes to you. See if you hear any kind of guidance or inner voice coming to you, but do it slowly. So if you try to close your eyes so that you can start to get new information about the ideas, then you find your mind wandering. If you find your mind wandering, then think about the original idea, or think about what you were just reading or studying, and realize that your mind is wandering, you're not focused in on the idea. So you go back to the idea and you listen quietly and you listen attentively. There is a message waiting for you. Be confident that you will receive the message waiting for you. Remember that the message belongs to you. There's a message that belongs to you. Remember that you really want the message that the universe wants to give you. And what you must do is what? Don't allow your intent to waver. Don't allow your intent to waver in the face of distracting thoughts. What are distracting thoughts? Thoughts about what's going to happen in the future, thoughts about what happened in the past, thoughts about what you're going to do, thoughts that make you feel angry or anxious or upset. The Course in Miracles says these are distracting thoughts. It calls them ego thoughts. Then it tells you to realize that your ego thoughts have no real power. Your thoughts of fear have no real power. Your thoughts of anger, guilt, and grievances have no real power. So what do you do with thoughts that are distractions? What do you do with thoughts that are distractions? Well, you have to realize something. What is it that you have to realize? That whatever form your distracting thoughts may take, remember that they have no meaning and no power. And so you want to replace your distracting thoughts. What do you want to replace your distracting thoughts with? You want to replace your distracting thoughts with your determination to succeed. I know these ego distracting thoughts keep coming up in my mind. I know I keep on wanting to practice and apply these thoughts of love and truth that I'm studying, but sometimes I still get caught up in my ego and I have these distracting thoughts of fear and insecurity. And so what I'm going to do is realize that all of my ego thoughts, all of these distracting thoughts have no meaning, and these distracting thoughts have no power. Remember that you have the will of God in you. You have the will of love in you. And that will has power over all fantasies. Your will has power over the ego. Your will has power over any fear. Your will has power over all fantasies. Your will has more power than your ego. Trust your will to see you through. Trust your mind to see you through. Trust your dedication to the truth to see you through. Trust God to see you through. Trust that your will carry you beyond all distractions, beyond all fear. Trust that your will of God will carry you beyond all distractions and beyond all fear. When you do your practice, when you're doing your spiritual practice, you should regard your spiritual practice as dedications to the way, dedications to the truth, and dedication to the life. Refuse to be sidetracked. To be sidetracked by what? Refuse to be sidetracked by the ego. Refuse to be sidetracked by detours, which are false ideas, illusions, and thoughts of death. You are dedicated. You are dedicated. Your being here means, and your listening and your watching this means, you are dedicated to salvation. That means you are dedicated to forgiveness. You are dedicated to peace. You are dedicated to right-mindedness. A Course in Miracles defines salvation as the escape from concepts. Escape from all these false concepts about yourself. So you're dedicated to escaping all false ideas about yourself. A false idea about yourself would be the idea that you are not enough, that you are guilty or sinful or bad or lacking or ugly or not deserving of love. Those are false ideas. Those are illusions. So be determined not to leave your function unfulfilled. You are to be the living, walking, breathing embodiment of these truth teachings. You are not to think like fearful people in the world. You are not to think like the people in the world think. And people in the world who are asleep have one key idea about themselves, and that idea is that they are victims of the world that they see. People who are asleep and unawake, they always project and blame everybody else for whatever they're going through. So you are here to represent the truth. That's what makes you the light of the world. So reaffirm your determination. Use these ideas. If your mind gets distracted, go back to the original idea. And you want to tell yourself, I am the light of the world. For example, say, I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. Let's say that. I am the light of the world. I am the light of the world. That's the truth. Go, I am the truth of the world. I am the truth of the world. It's sort of like you're saying, I am the truth in the world. I am the love in the world. I am the love in the world. I am the truth in the world. I am the light of the world. Earl, I am the light of the world. Say it. I am the light of the world. I am the truth of the world. I'll say it for you. You are the truth of the world. You are the truth of the world. You are the love of the world. You are the love of the world. You are the innocence of the world. You are the innocence of the world. You are the truth of the world. This is how you apply the truth. Don't forget to go back over this over and over again at least 4 times, because in this talk tonight, I have gone over exactly how you approach using these ideas and what to do if you find yourself distracted. This will make A Course in Miracles practical in your day-to-day life. And that will allow you to have the miracles that A Course in Miracles promises. So, mighty companion, you are a blessing, and may the Course be with you. God bless you. Yeah.